Hello everyone and welcome back to another video without studio mic quality because I'm just using the camera. So, I thought I'm gonna try something new. So, this card literally just came in 5 minutes ago. It's still cold from being outside. Now, this card I got for 12 euros on eBay as working. Though you can kind of see it's in a rough shape, similar to the 480 I have. And the seller said that this is a GTX 560 1GB. Well, I don't know about that, but this kind of looks like a 580. So if this works, I just got a 580 for 12 bucks, and this time it's literally just an Nvidia one, like no brand. I have two 580 reference ones already. One of them is this right here, that's the same, just green. And then there's the one that I modded. But this one is just straight up from Nvidia. So yeah, let's plug that one in. This test bench, which is actually the new test bench now. You can see it's no longer a Dark Base 700 just on the side. This is now a Cooler Master HAF XB Evo, which is just very nice to work with because it's actually designed to sit on your desk like that. So, by the way, I'm screwing my GPUs in now because I noticed this can help with display out, that this can actually help with letting the card boot. So let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah, still don't have a capture card, so this janky setup will have to do. Ah, come on. This is really bad. Can we do this? Seems to help a bit. So it works. It does work. So yeah, that's a good thing. Driver even initializes, so that's good. It works. Let's see, maybe I'm finally getting a Samsung card on the reference PCB, which might be more interesting to mod than the two Hynix ones I have. How much? Okay, this is also capped at 85%. Well, okay. Let's see what memory we have. Please be Samsung. Yes, it's Samsung. Yes. Yes, it's Samsung. It's not a Hynix card. This will actually scale with voltage. And you can see we actually have all the 16 slots right now. So this is just like the live stream I did with the 480. Like this is in the 16X slot now. This motherboard only has one 16X slot and it is actually at 16X. So yeah, I don't know why 480 is always at 8X. I guess because it is missing a capacitor and on the PCI Express slot. So, yep, sub-vendor Nvidia, this is just straight up a reference card, and yes, this is a 580. Yeah, the power reading is still completely broken. Let's look at the ASIC quality. Yo! Oh! Okay. Going after ASIC quality, this is probably my second best core. Okay, now I'm really interested. What will this clock like? And now the binning chart I made for the other 580s is actually useful because now I can just pull that one up and I kinda already get an idea of what it's gonna do. With this high of an like the only card I have like higher than 90.4%. The second Lightning is higher than 91%, so this is pretty close to that. The only difference is the Lightning has literally twice as many VRM phases than this, so this, from the core alone, this, I might actually hit 1 GHz on this thing. Because I actually managed to run 1 GHz on my worst card, the Zotac one, and the only reason why it never passed Firestrak is not because it's not stable. It was stable. I just had way too much voltage on the card and it shut down. Because Fermi cards, if you don't cool them properly, which, well, if you leave the stock heatsink on them, that's kind of what improperly cooling looks like. If you put too much voltage in them, they shut down. So yeah. So let's look if it beats my better reference 580. So let's do the test again. I'm just gonna run normal Firestrike here. I will unfortunately max the fan speed, so it's gonna be a bit loud. Actually, that's okay. Okay, and actually, what's the highest that I got at this? Okay, the core, like the card with the similar core, at 950. Let's try 900 first, because I really don't know what the difference, like the Lightning PCB is much better than this one. And actually, why didn't you apply my voltage? Okay. Time for Firestrike. You can close that. Like, meaning that this is Samsung memory. If I get lucky and the memory is also good, like this could straight up be... it's not gonna beat the Lightning cores, but... yeah, I don't think it's gonna beat the Lightnings for core. Well, let's see. Let's... actually, I'm straight gonna go for broke. I don't want this video to be really long. So 950, that's what the other Lightning did. Let's see if this one can match it, because like there's like 1% difference in how much better it is. I don't think it will run this, just because, well, the other's a Lightning, this one is a reference card, and I've never cleaned this one. Actually, is the reverb tuner thing active? Yes, it is. So I can't see how hot it will get, because I have a feeling it's gonna get really hot. It literally just came in. Everything I did with this card is on video. So, yeah, and actually, let me adjust the camera a bit. It's kinda... Oh, yep, there it goes. Doesn't even start. Maybe it's just because it's first boot up. I had this happen with another 580 where it just wouldn't run anything until I rebooted it. Maybe the core is also degraded and it's just barely enough to run desktop. And let's see, if it doesn't do 900, I'm gonna try a stock run, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna restart the thing. Okay, I'm gonna try to just... Yeah, well, we'll leave it at that. Now this seems... Nope. Yeah. Doesn't look like it's going to run. Okay, stock. It ran for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the two Lightnings have significantly better low voltage performance than all my other cards. So that's probably why it's not doing it. If I give it enough V-core, it might actually get really, really good. Like the green one, like this one right here, did 855 in the first test and then 959 in the last test. Which actually, like, I haven't talked about this yet. Like, while this runs, this green card and the Zotac card I've now repaired. So in the last video I made about them, I had not the, I didn't have full data for them because they wouldn't run. So I took them apart and I did a full reflow on them. This time a proper one. Like last time I just heated the core a bit and it was enough to make them work again, but not for long. This time I did a full proper reflow also for the memory chips, and now both of them run completely fine. So yeah, I have now numbers for these two cards as well. And actually, like, they perform really decently if you give them enough V-core. Like, the Zotac card is 810 megahertz at the low voltage test. but it does 945 for the high voltage test. Like, that's higher than the direct CO2 did. Also at literally 20 degrees colder, because apparently the vapor chamber in these things has a lot of thermal mass. Yeah, like, actually the temps are fine. Like, this is stock fan curve. And the thermal paste on this is probably in, like, rock state. Like, if I max the fan speed, this is gonna stay around at, like... I mean, if we forgo the old thermal paste, it's gonna be at around 55 degrees. Because the other two cards were around, like, actually they were 51 and 54. With max fan speed. Okay. Yeah, so let's just go straight to max voltage. I, again, don't want this video. It's already 11 minutes long. Okay, the high voltage result. Let's try 960 with high voltage. That's what the green card did. Or, like, technically 959. Oh, whatever. I think I put in 955 and the card actually ran at 959, which is why I didn't put it down as 960, because if I put in 960 it would run at like 963 or something. Some weird thing that Fermi sometimes does. Sometimes it's running a few megahertz faster than what you put in. So yeah. Let's see. Looking good. This also shows 959. But I think that's the monitoring stuff. I think Riva Tuner is always off by 1 megahertz compared to Afterburner. But I think usually it's like 1 megahertz ahead. Like, memory displays us 2005, whereas MS Afterburner says 2004. Oh well. And my CPU is also on stock again, because I reset CMOS one too many times. But hey, this one actually seems to run. I'm gonna let this finish. And after that, well, actually, am I gonna try 1 gigahertz? I don't think it will run 1 gigahertz, because like the other Lightning barely did it, and that one has such a good PCB. But maybe it's gonna be saved by the thermal mass, because the Lightnings ran 70 degrees, whereas the reference cards were at like 61, 62. Just because one pass of Fire Strike is so short, and the vapor chamber is actually like better for such a short heat load. So let's see. This one, yeah, you can see the old thermal paste now. Like, this is now hotter than both of the other cards, which I repasted. Yeah, this is getting significantly hotter. Oh yeah, we're closing in on 70. Oh well, this might actually hold us back a lot. I'm gonna take the card apart after this, and like, it's also pretty dirty, so I'm gonna clean it up, give it a bath probably, just to get rid of everything. Then I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow we can do another session with it. And maybe it's gonna do something, like, yeah, now we have 3 reference cards. Yeah, I can just go all out. If I break one of them, I still have 2, so... Okay, like, combined usually passes, because it's just, you can see the temperature is pretty low. Like, sometimes it happens that actually GT2, which is like RAM heavy and not core heavy, sometimes it actually crashes because of core, just because the card is getting too hot at that point. Because like GT2 is right after GT1, and so the card has no time to cool down. But yeah, this one passed, and the score, actually I can compare the score. Like I think to break 6000 GPU score, you need like water cooling or something. Well, let's just see what happens. I don't think it will run. It might actually hard crash. Because like 1 gigahertz is really where it stops for Fermi. Holy... Ah. I was just about to say. Okay, let's test what voltage tolerance this card has. So let's reset to default. Set 1 gigahertz again. And... Oh! That was too much. I should have first set the voltage, then the clock. It's still alive. Barely. Oh, damn, it's artifacting hard. What's the shortcut to restart the GPU driver again? Yeah, okay, now it shut down. Oh no, actually it's back. Yeah, it reset itself. So let's set the voltage first with our trusty friend Galax Hall of Fame NVVDD, and we're going to set 1.2 volts. And this voltage that you see down here is actually like what the controller puts out, because you can see this is different from what MS Afterburner tells us. What MS Afterburner tells us is like a software reading. This one actually talks to the controller. So this reading is the actual voltage we're having right now. So we are at 1.2 volts now. The only problem is the other reference 580 I tested shut down at 1.2 volts. Actually, it shut down all the way down to 1.175 volts. So you could barely even exceed the stock limit. But it like varies from card to card. Like some cards are like the Zotac one and just don't tolerate any more voltage than stock. Some cards just run 1.45 volts, though only on water cooling. But like 1.2 volts works on the Lightning and the Direct CO2, for example. I never tested it on the Green 580. The Zotac one like is really, really bad about it. And I also never tested the second Lightning, the one with the better core actually. So let's test if it... I mean, yeah, it runs now because we just gave it another 50 millivolts. The question is it gonna like lock up? And if it locks up, you're gonna see what I mean. If it passes, that's great because, yeah, okay, never mind, it locked up. Yeah, that's what happens. And I don't think it comes back now. No. So we press reset. Yeah. So when the card locks up, you have to power cycle it and then it comes back. So this one is also not really that great about voltage. Though, like, it's gonna be fine if I cool it down properly. Like, if I put this on water cooling, it will probably be fine. The only problem is just, with water cooling, I have to modify the base plate, and at least the memory is gonna end up with no cooling whatsoever. And we have to reset this because it's still at 1.2 volts. Okay, now we are at stock. Now this is actually reading lower than MSAft. Ah, well. Yeah, this steam, get out of the way. So, actually for the next test, I mean, I'm not gonna completely max it out. We know that the core on this is pretty good. We know it does 960. We know it does 1 gigahertz with high voltage, even though it needs better cooling. I'm not gonna test 980. I mean, Yeah, it might be stable at 1.15 volts. I don't really care. It's just to get a rough idea, and this video is not supposed to get 40 minutes long, and we are already at 20. So let's start messing with the memory. So this is a Samsung card, which means we can likely take this thing a bit further than the other ones. Let's try 2400. I don't know how good the memory cooling on this is. The thermal pads on this are probably pretty bad. And if I take this card apart, I'm probably gonna break them. Or like most of them. So yeah, I don't know what's the matter with memory cooling. I know the Lightning, the worst of the two Lightnings for memory. That one does 2400, and it has memory cooling. I just don't know how it compares to the reference PCB. I know that the DirectCO2 does not run this because it doesn't have memory cooling, even though the memory on it is pretty good. It's just getting way too hot. So yeah, like 2400, if this passes, I will be really, really pleased. Because that means if we overvolt it, we can likely get another 50 megahertz-ish, maybe even 100 out of it. Like, the only card I ever hard modded a memory overvolt. Oh, nope. It does not run 2400 megahertz. Yeah, and I don't think this is coming back as well, because this usually means lockup when you get to solid color. Well, I mean, it's a reference card. Let's test 2350. Yeah, let's test 2350. And if that doesn't pass, 2325 to see if it at least matches the DirectCO2. And like if it doesn't, maybe I'm gonna try a flat 2300, but if it doesn't even do 2325, I'm gonna have pretty low hopes for this one. Let's try 2350 first. No, not that one, this one. Get out of the way, Steam. Okay, fire strike, run. Okay, this looks good, but it doesn't pass. Okay, we're getting closer, but I don't think 2325 is gonna work if this crashes so early. Let's just hope that it comes back. I really don't wanna do another reboot. How hot is it getting? It's getting decently hot. Maybe I should... Okay, this is not coming back. Maybe I should actually max the fan speed. Because, like, technically this could improve memory cooling as well. Because, like, the base plate is also getting a bit of airflow. I'm gonna max the fan speed and try 2325. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is also not passing. Oh well, so the memory on this thing is not great. Can you do 2300 flat? Because that would be what the Hynix cards do. If I actually find a Samsung card that's worse than a Hynix one. Because yeah, like the green one is Hynix and it does 2300. So maybe the thermal pads on this thing are just seriously degraded, or it's just... I don't know. Like, the two Lightnings have, like, really good memory. And the DirectX 2 as well, if you cool it down. Like, maybe it's just a heat issue, maybe it's... I don't think there's that much voltage drop on the VMAM power plane. So, I can't really tell. Oh. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, it locked itself into safety mode. So... yeah, well, I'm not gonna bother with testing it further now. I'm just gonna power this down. And we go back to... so yeah, so this one is... it is kind of exciting, but also kind of disappointing. So this has a really good core that's sadly on a reference PCB. And the memory on it is, even though it's Samsung, it's just not that great. So, yeah, at least it runs. So that's something. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's another reference card. I'm just gonna abuse these for experiments. Because I like Fermi, and I do like my 580s, and now I have one more to bin, which, I mean, we've just seen how it's gonna be like plus minus 20 megahertz. So yeah, this 560, which is not a 560. Yeah, I mean $12 plus like including shipping, like the $12. It was 8 for if I would get it personally, but like this came from the other side of the country, I think. So yeah, just $12 shipped, and yeah. And I don't quite know what I'm gonna do with it. I could theoretically also just resell it, because I could probably make a profit. Like I could maybe like $25-30 if it works. I could turn a profit on this, though I really just can't have enough. Like, the thing is, the Zotac one, I kind of already have plans with. Like, I'm gonna keep modding that card. And this one, the green one, is just way too nice for me to mod, because, like, it's a green PCB. This is really, like, there's not many of these out there, and I have one, and... I mean, it doesn't really clock that great, but it's still a green PCB card, and I really have something for green PCB cards, especially when they are high-end models, because it's like, yay, my card may have a green PCB, but if you have a card of the same generation, no matter how great it looks, it's probably gonna lose to it if I overclock mine and you don't. So yeah, and then now I have this one, which like really good core, really good core, which kinda makes me not want to do some crazy experiments with this, because I was thinking about like if the core sucked or something, I maybe would have just do some depth experiments to it, like shoot a lot of VCore into it and see what happens, and like put it on water cooling, do like a max voltage test, like at what voltage does it start dying. I know the memory system can take a lot because I shot 2.1 volts into my 560 Ti 448 and that card is still alive somehow. I don't know how much the core can take. So I was thinking about, well, maybe I'm just gonna hard mod this, have some fun with it, and if it's dead, I'm gonna steal the VRM off of it. Now where the core on this is actually pretty good. Like if I do reference 580 SLI one day, I'm gonna use this instead of the Zotac one with the green. Though, yeah. I'm gonna think of something. I'm gonna think of something. Yeah. But first I'm gonna take this apart and clean it and yeah, put it in a better shape than it is right now. At least you know it works, you know it overclocks. Good for core, pretty meh for memory. So yeah, that's it for the video. 32 minutes, so I'm gonna cut some things in between out. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed. This was really random, but yeah, it's something new. It's just like, you can be as surprised as I am, because I actually don't know how this clocks, or that it even works, or that it's even a 580. Like, okay, one more thing, like the funny thing is, the pictures I had from the seller were like, one picture like this, one picture like this, and then like one from the front. There was no picture from this sticker, which would have straight up told me it's a 580. So actually I'm gonna have to do a shout out, because Madness from the Linus Tech Tips forums just sent the eBay listing to me, otherwise I wouldn't have found it, because I wasn't actually actively looking for one, but like if I find a nice one, I'm just gonna get that. So he sent that to me, and I thought, okay, 560, but then I saw, okay, this is a 580 cooler, so this can just be like, this cooler only comes on 580s and 570s, so this can't be a 560. And then did I see the back? I actually don't remember if I saw the back, because if this mounting spacing, it has to be a GF110, which means it can't be a 560 or 560 Ti. The only 560-ish card that has this mounting spacing is the 448 variant. And that's not 1 GB, that's 1.2 GB. Actually, this one is 1.5, so that's also wrong. So yeah, this tells you that this is a high-end core, like, because this mounting or spacing, like the 60 class GPUs, they have like not a square one, they have a rectangular one. And yeah, and then like the one thing that told me this has to be a 580 is power connectors. The 560s and the 570 also just come with 2 6-pins. This one has an 8-pin. So this told me like, yeah, this is 99.9% a 580, except when it's like some weird, maybe it's some weird custom card that's just using the 580 PCB, or maybe it's an engineering sample or something, but nope, it's just straight up a 580. 12 euro 580. So yeah, nice thing. Now we are at 35 minutes. I really should end this video. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, goodbye.